Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleague, thank you for giving me the floor. First, you know that in the last few weeks, many countries have suffered the hardest blows at the hands of those who profess to oppose and to fight our right to freedom. Even as I am speaking now, there have been more deaths in Paris today. Egypt and Russia, Lebanon, France have been struck. One of my colleagues was killed in the attack on a theater in Paris at the end of last week, on Friday. Many young people, students, young colleagues, doctoral students fell to the bullets of assassins. We have Egyptian members here. We have French colleagues with us today. I would like to express our compassion to our colleagues and institutions from these countries that have been struck by blind violence. We all know here that education, research, not only strive on, but promote freedom. Education for all, and certainly higher education for an increasing number of students, of people, of citizens, dare I say specifically professional higher education, is one of the leads we pursue to build a better, more inclusive world. Today's topic centers on excellence. Attaining excellence requires a free will, independence of mind, independence of action. In other words, liberty, freedom. That is what we need most today, and that is, I know, what you all stand for. Now, on behalf of EURASHE, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all participants in that PHExcel event. EURASHE has more than 1,200 members, Johan, I think, worldwide. They offer professionally orientated programs that are engaged in applied and profession-centered or profession-related research within the Bologna cycles. They are national and sectorial associations of higher education, institution, and individual institutions as well, such as universities, university colleges, institutes, universities of applied science. As a member of the E4 group, we at EURASHE represent professional higher education within the Bologna follow-up group, next to each of the 48 countries, individual countries of the European higher education area. Our bywords are cooperation, linkage, networking. In everyday terms, it means quality, and I suggest it also means excellence. We not only work within the higher education area, European higher education area, but also outside the Bologna process or the Bologna area, as we cooperate with many networks worldwide. We have recently revised our statutes in order to increase transparency and facilitate action, mostly to enhance the members' involvement in the association and to enhance the return they get from working under the umbrella of EURASHE. So excellence, dear colleagues, that's the word that's uniting us today. EURASHE has coordinated a diverse group, I think, and we hope that you will appreciate all the perspectives our experts will be offering you today and tomorrow. I'm particularly proud, I must say, of the partners that are assembled today. Engineering schools will be able to talk to music conservatoires. Nursing schools to design academies. Top research institutions to newcomers, representatives of countries that have long established systems will be able to talk to some of those emerging countries that are emerging economically, but also perhaps politically. Thank you all for joining us. on this topic that is really at the heart of our endeavors. We surmise that excellence needs more than personal involvement. It is an endeavor that also needs coordination, cooperation, determined action. Very good, very well, but how do we take it from there? It is perhaps easy to define excellence by what it is not. And in fact, if I told you now what excellence is and how do you achieve it, well, the conference will be finished now, so I won't. But what is it not? It's quite different from quality, I think. The development of transparency instruments and a well-functioning, quality-functioning assurance system for the institution and within its own ecosystem, from regional to national to European or continent-wise, is one thing. It is, dare I say, relatively easy to achieve. Most of you have such systems. It is also something quite static. We are not sure it promotes a drive for or towards excellence. Our vision for 2020 shows that an European higher education area that has built up a comprehensive education and information system offering all the necessary data for those needing detailed information about higher education is in fact a goal, a worthwhile goal, but it also has very little to do with the quest for excellence. Ranking, perhaps, is a bit better, using rankings. Rankings are less static, I suppose. Rankings can really engage members of a higher education institution. However, rankings are usually expressed as averages of different individual dimensions or measurements. And as such, rankings must attract caution. Such average figures will be statistically questionable, I think, and therefore they will provide limited and perhaps misleading information and misleading insight into a higher education institution and its ability to attain or strive for excellence. What we are cautious about rankings is that they are inspired also by the idea that only one or two or three, the top three higher education institutions can really achieve excellence and can be recognized for it. They focus on the top performers. Excellence, really, we think, is something else. So the idea of excellence we found defeats the idea of a label. Even more, it defeats the idea of accreditation. In other words, when applied to higher education, it is a complex notion. It is a process rather than a step, a stage, a goal, or a label. How then do you promote it? Do you defend it? Do you strive for it? That's the object of the coming day, a day and a half. I would now like to give you a recent anecdote on excellence, especially on the epitome of excellence in higher education, Nobel Prizes. Nobel Prizes. 3 weeks ago, I was invited in Seoul, Korea, South Korea, to contribute to a forum on the links between higher education and the world of work. One of my Korean counterparts suddenly came up and asked, "You have several Nobel Prize winners," he was referring, I suppose, to French higher education. "You have several Nobel Prize winners, you have field medalists. Tell us how you achieve this. What's the recipe? Tell us what we can do to get our own Korean Nobel Prize." It was quite unexpected, really, because, well, overall, it seemed not to fit with the object of the forum, which was the links between higher education and professional higher education and the world of work. Korea is an amazingly powerful country. it has the finest universities. Even in terms of technology, I'm sure that half of this audience now today has a Korean smartphone in their pockets. On second thoughts, however, it was not so much out of place. Was it not apposite, quite apposite, that the question on Nobel Prize winners should be asked in a forum that was concerned with relations with the world of work? Perhaps the dimension of a higher education institution that is sometimes thought as furthest removed from the rarefied air of top research labs, connection with the world of work, connection with reality, connection with a large public or body of stakeholders, is perhaps what you need in order to reach excellence. You start by involving all your higher education institutions, all your operations within your own higher education institution. And instead of selecting only a few, instead of closing, you open the concept to all. It's not a trickle-down process, I believe. It's the exact opposite. It is a promotion of all and everyone of us to find their own goals. It is a grassroots movement. Every institution must strive for it, define it in its own terms, allow each of its faculty members to achieve it, and certainly to allow each of its students to fight for it. It's a great idea then, because it can involve all of us. So what is it? Johan, our Secretary General, is going to have the tough task of recapitulating 2 years of work in 20 minutes, I think. But may I be so bold as to offer you a 4-word definition? And there it is: act as a network. At EURASHE, indeed, we think that working as a team, as a network, sharing ideas, exploring innovations, basically that is striving for excellence. To end this introduction, I would like to conclude on yet another anecdote. We invited Cédric Villani. Cédric Villani is a mathematician extraordinaire. He is the Fields Medal winner back in 2011, 2010, I think. And a year ago, he was invited at my university. He was asked by one of our students, how did you succeed in demonstrating your famous theorem? What he said, well, I didn't do much. I didn't do quite a lot, actually, he said. I couldn't have done it on my own. I just consolidated the results of my many colleagues. Act as a network. Thank you very much.